Okay, is the madness over yet? Is there any more surprises, UFC? Goodness gracious, man, it's been one heck of a week for mixed martial arts in general. But as far as UFC 223, it's been hectic to say the least. Okay, so much has happened, so much has been going on. I'm just glad that it's over. Hopefully, I'm not speaking too soon, but the fight is supposed to happen tonight. But I'm honestly not even going to get my hopes up. We'll see what happens tonight. But if you guys have been out of the loop, or if you're living under a rock and you don't know what's been going on, here's a summary of what everything has been happening with the event Saturday, April 7th, for UFC 223 in Brooklyn, New York. Okay? So it seems like forever ago, but way back, it all started like a story. It all started with a fight that was supposed to happen between Khabib and Tony. Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Tony Ferguson for the official 155 title that Conor just got stripped of because he does not defend anything that he wins. Secondly, but people have deemed this fight not meant to be because everything has happened to not let this fight happen. Forgive me, but I find it so funny because everyone called out Tony Ferguson for always wearing sunglasses. He always wears sunglasses indoors, and it's weird. It's weird, man. It's right. So he's a unique individual. Then finally, it caught up to him. He was walking and said what's up to a friend, right? Didn't see some wires, tripped, tore his knee, and been out of the fight, right? 6 days notice. Max Bless Holloway gets a call. He was actually in the mainland with his son playing soccer or football. He gets the call, and Max decides that, yes, I can make 155 to fight Khabib for the 155 title. Max is the current 145-pound title for the featherweight division. And sorry, this is going to be a long summary. A lot has happened. And so Max moseys on over to Brooklyn, New York. On 6 days' notice now, has to make 155 pounds. And Max is a heavy guy, honestly. For being a 145-pounder, he probably walks around like 180, 175. He's a heavy guy. So on 6 days' notice, keep in mind when Max gets ready, when Bless gets ready for a fight, he starts dieting like a month out, right? He starts doing a caloric deficit. He has a great nutrition program with a dietitian. He does it the right way, and he has a very good metabolism. He's only 26, so it's not hard for him to make the weight. He never missed weight in his life. But when it came to the weigh-ins yesterday, he just couldn't do it. So Max Holloway was running the treadmill, doing everything he needed to do. He was cutting the weight, but the UFC doctors and the athletic commission deemed it unsafe for him to even step on the scale. He was cutting so much weight too soon. It was too last minute. But as far as Max and his team, they said that he was doing fine and he was on track to making 155. But as far as the UFC doctors are concerned, and as far as New York State Athletic Commission, they didn't like what they were seeing. And even if he did make weight, they would think he would be unhealthy to fight at that point. It was too much weight to cut too soon, right? So, with all that going on, Conor's acting crazy, right? You've seen that. And so this is a whole blanket of Conor, pretty much, because Conor was the last one to beat Max, right? And Max was the last one to go toe-to-toe with Conor when Conor tore an ACL, right? And Max has the belt that Conor left, right? And Max was going for the belt that Conor also left. And but here's my main problem with all of this. Why are all the fighters at the same hotel? Like, there's only one hotel in New York that you got to put all the main card fighters in the Marriott in Brooklyn. You know what I mean? It's like, so even even Max and Khabib and his crew ran into each other, and when they're on the treadmills, is like, you guys are lucky that they're cordial. If it was like Conor and Nate, it would have been all hell breaking loose, and the Mac Life guys fighting with the Scrap Pack, like it'll be too crazy. So why? First of all, that's the main issue, is that you put all these fighters in the same hotel and expect no drama to happen, right? Because what happened, the reason why Conor acted the way he did is because his best friend, Artem Lobov, right, is a 145 pounder. He was talking a lot of smack about Khabib in an interview. And so he was calling him a lot of names I'm not going to repeat. But when Khabib and his crew confronted Artem in the lobby or in a hallway at the Marriott, put his hand around his neck and said, "Hey, what did you call me?" And you're like, "Oh, don't call me that ever again." Khabib is nice, but also he's very direct, right? So he said, "Did you say these things about me? Because if you did, stop talking about me," right? And they're like, and so Artem was lying and saying, "I didn't say anything." Whatever. So Khabib and his team actually posted a video of Artem calling him all these names in an interview, right? So Artem lied. He couldn't back up what he said. So as soon as Artem goes and calls brother Conor up in Ireland, guess what? Soon as Conor hears word that his best friend just got punked by a bunch of Russian guys, Conor already had beef with Khabib. So Conor capitalized on the opportunity to amp this fight for Ireland versus Russia, right? So Conor and 20 of his best friends go fly on a private jet from Ireland all the way to New York, and immediately finds out, gets inside of the loading docks, because his people, the Mac Life production people, let him in, and they stormed the tour buses. They found out which one Khabib was on, and they just started raging. In the process, he injured Micheal Chiesa, shattered glass on his face, got him bleeding, got him hospitalized, and got him kicked off the fight card. So now Anthony Pettis had no opponent. Got glass in Ray Borg's eye, who was a flyweight. Almost smashed Rose Namajunas' knuckles, and she is also the co-headliner for the event. Almost smashed her knuckles. Almost ruined the whole card, essentially. So a lot of people are mad at Conor for that, and I can't respect what he did, but I do see the madness. I do see the method behind the madness, because they have been trying to do this Russia pay-per-view for a long time, and supposedly it's going to be a huge stadium out there. Khabib is like a superstar in Russia, obviously, and it's like one of the biggest countries in the world, one of the biggest populations, and if they do a UFC fight there, Dana always wanted to do a fight with Khabib versus Conor there, so this is all lining up to that. Even though this is crazy and this is unnecessary, he shouldn't be doing that kind of crazy stuff, but Conor ended up getting arrested. He turned himself into the 78th precinct in Brooklyn, got processed, got a mugshot available on Google if you want to look it up. So nevertheless, as crazy as all this sounds, Rose is okay. She's good to fight. But that left Anthony Pettis with no opponent, because, like I said, Micheal Chiesa, and also another 155-pounder, was hospitalized because of all the glass cut on his face. So the minute that they found out that Max Bless Holloway could not make weight, Anthony Pettis was going for it. They were really trying. For some reason, that fell through. That seemed like a very solid replacement for Max. But Tony Ferguson's at home, hands in the air. What's going on? Max can't make weight. I was excited about that. I planned a party around watching Max fight. So Anthony Pettis fell through. That didn't work out. So at least we have a solid fight, and it's a legitimate fight. It is Raging Al Iaquinta versus Khabib Nurmagomedov for the actual 155-pound belt. Because initially, when they first announced it, they said Al could not fight for the title because he technically made 155.2 pounds. And according to the Athletic State Commission of New York, you cannot be over 155 pounds and fight for the title. But Dana White had a little loophole, okay? So Raging Al is fighting for the title now. Initially, they said he's not going to fight for the title, but he will fight Khabib, and if Khabib wins, he will be the champ. But now they realized, Dana said, hey, wait, Raging Al weighed in just wearing his underwear, and he weighed 155.2 pounds. Weigh his underwear and see how much it weighs. It weighed 0.2 pounds, exactly. So now, technically speaking, even though the Athletic Commission will not sanction this bout as a championship fight for Raging Al, Dana White said that he's willing to make an exception because if he beats Khabib, he truly deserves to be the 155-pound champion. So they will make arrangements to technically make Al the champ. But all comes down to that 0.2 of a pound discrepancy. Glad that it all worked out for Al. He's on a fight win streak. He is no joke. He's on and off as far as fighting. He's also a real estate salesman, whatever. So he at a couple fights ago, he said, "Oh, if y'all looking for a house in New York, give me a call." You know, isn't that sad that some of the greatest fighters in the world can't even make a living doing it? You know, but yeah, apparently he's selling houses and doing well at it. So props to him. But honestly, I don't think he's gonna win. I don't think anyone is gonna beat Khabib because Khabib, if you haven't watched any of his highlights or if you don't know who he is, Khabib hasn't lost in a decade. And he does the same exact thing to every single person. He is a dominant wrestler. He wrestles with Cain Velasquez, with Luke Rockhold, and Daniel Cormier on a daily basis. He's out there in AKA American Kickbox Academy in San Jose, California, full of champs, former champs, a very dominant, very dominant fight camp. So AKA definitely knows what they're doing. Luke Rockhold, I think, should be a middleweight champ, but just fallen short as of late. But definitely would be a 205 contender if he decided to ever go up in weight. Nurmagomedov, obviously, I believe that the odds, like, the odds are 1,000 for Khabib and 500 for Raging Al. It's ridiculous. Yeah, so obviously Khabib is a huge favorite. Not much expected for Iaquinta, but you never know. This is the fight game. Anything can happen. I will never count anyone out, especially Al. But Khabib is Khabib. So, but nevertheless, if he does beat Khabib, he definitely deserves that belt for sure. So that's a summary of everything that's going on, all this madness that is happening with UFC 223. I was excited to watch it, but now, man, I'm just glad that it's finally here and it didn't get canceled. You know what I mean? It's just, there's so much happening, so stressful. I can't imagine what Dana White went through this week. I'm glad that Thug Rose versus Gollum, what's her name? Joanna Jacek. I forgot who my friends, but we that's what we call her, Gollum. She just looks like, I'm sorry, not to be rude. But Thug Rose, hopefully she wins again, defends her title. And yeah, looking forward to the fight tonight. And I think that's it. I think that summarizes everything. God bless Max Holloway. I'm sorry it didn't work out, brother. Hopefully it'll work out next time. You do deserve to be a 2-division champion. But maybe on more heads up and more notice, you'll be able to make weight easier. And Conor, get it together, brother. I know you just wanted to do it for a huge fight in Russia. Who knows? It might pay off in the end. But at the end of the day, he lost some fans after doing all that crazy stuff and hurting innocent people. But yeah, that's the summary. That's everything that's been going on. If you haven't known, that's what's been happening this weekend. Hope all of you guys have a great, prosperous, beautiful, wonderful day. Enjoy the fights. Watch UFC. Check out the podcast. You know, I'm glad that all you guys are enjoying it. Please subscribe to the podcast. So if you have an iPhone, you can use the purple podcast app that's already installed on your iPhone. And if you have an Android or a smartphone, Galaxy or something, just download the Stitcher Radio app. Or if you already have iHeart Radio, I will be under podcast there, The Fight of Faith. Or if you want to use Spreaker, that's a great free audio app as well for podcasts. So Let me know how everything is. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. I love you guys. Hope everything is going well for y'all. Subscribe, comment, and give me questions or topics that you guys want me to answer. You know, anything goes. Whatever you guys want to talk about, I'll put it on the show. I love you all, and thank you for listening. I really appreciate all the positive feedback I've been getting. Please tell everyone about the podcast, especially for fellow believers, if you want them to be encouraged. I post about once a week about being encouraged, being inspired, motivated to follow Christ. So hopefully everyone can benefit from it. Okay? I love y'all. Thank you so much for listening. God bless y'all and have a great day. And remember to keep fighting the good fight of faith. God bless.